Good morning to all of you. So next topic we have is distinction between primary, secondary and tertiary alcohol. Okay. So now what we have to do, as we already discussed what is primary, secondary and tertiary alcohol. Now how we can differentiate that the given compound is primary or whether secondary or tertiary. Okay. So there are different method is given that by which we are taking the help of that tests, or we can say method, we can determine that whether the given compound is primary, secondary or tertiary. Okay, so first one we have is Lucas test. Okay, so that is Lucas test. Now what is Lucas test? So in this test what we are doing, we are taking alcohol. Okay, if I am writing here alcohol, so what we are doing, we are treating this alcohol with Lucas reagent. Okay, Lucas reagent. Now what is this Lucas reagent? Lucas reagent is a mixture of concentrated, remember that, HCl plus anhydrous zinc chloride, ZnCl2. Okay, what is this? This is a Lucas reagent, mixture of that HCl and anhydrous zinc chloride. This is the Lucas reagent. So when we are treating this alcohol, some alcohol, if I'm taking here example of the same, so I'm taking here this, if I am treating it with, as I'm saying, Lucas reagent, so HCl plus anhydrous ZnCl2, which is zinc chloride. So what will happen, from here this water is removed, okay, and this chlorine is attack on that carbon atom. So what we have is, we have this plus water. Clear? Now what we are gonna do is, we are taking some alcohol, and to that alcohol what we are doing, what we are adding is Lucas reagent. Okay, so now this is the formation of the product. We can also write it as alkyl chloride. Clear? So when this reaction is happen, now the question is how we can determine that the given compound is primary, secondary or tertiary. Okay, I'm writing here whether it is primary, secondary or tertiary. So now if the turbidity appear, okay, what is turbidity? Turbidity means that there in the test tube there is some milky solutions, we can say, okay, or appears, okay, or cloudy like that. Okay, so if the turbidity appears immediately, okay, if we are doing this reaction in some test tube, okay, if that turbidity appears immediately, so that means the given compound, or we can say alcohol, is tertiary alcohol. Clear? So if the turbidity appears after some time, or we can say after 5 minutes, so that means the given alcohol is secondary alcohol. And if the turbidity appears only after upon heating, when we are heating that given solution upon heating, so that means the given compound or alcohol is primary alcohol. Clear? So this is how we can differentiate primary, tertiary and secondary alcohol with the help of that Lucas test. Clear? So next we have is second test, which is Victor-Meyer test. So in this, what we are taking, when we are taking some alcohol, okay, when we are treating that alcohol with iodide, or if we are taking red phosphorus, okay, I is iodine, okay, iodine or red phosphorus, so what will happen, it will form alkyl iodide. Okay, so first of all there is a formation of alkyl iodide. Now this alkyl iodide is treated with silver nitrate. Okay, it is treated with silver nitrate, so it will form nitroalkane. Okay, so it will form nitroalkane. Now this nitroalkane is reacted with nitrous acid. Okay, nitrous acid is HONO. So when it is treated with nitric acid, okay, nitrous acid, so it will form some alkaline solution, we can say. Okay, now The question is how we can judge that whether the given is primary, secondary or tertiary alcohol. Okay. Now, if there is a formation of red color, okay, if the solution we can say that converted to red color, so that means that given alcohol is primary alcohol. Okay. So if the color appears blue, so that means the given alcohol is secondary alcohol. Okay. And if the solution now turn into colorless, okay, when there is no color appear, colorless, so that means given alcohol is tertiary alcohol. Clear? This is how we can differentiate primary, secondary, tertiary alcohol with the help of Lucas test and Victor Meyer test. There is one more test, that is iodoform test. Now for iodoform test, there is all alcohol containing this CH3CHOH group. Okay, so it is linked to the carbon and hydrogen atom. So these can be distinguished from other alcohol by iodoform test. Okay, so when we are doing this iodoform test, how it is doing, we are heating the alcohol, given alcohol, in the aqueous NaOH. Okay, that is sodium hydroxide, or rather Na2CO3, that is sodium carbonate. Clear? So or we can take iodine solution. Okay, on warming the reaction mixture, when we are warming some reaction mixture with these two or one out of these, okay, so there is a formation of yellow precipitates. Okay, when there is a formation of yellow precipitates, yellow PPT, that is precipitate of iodoform, this indicates the positive iodoform test. Okay, positive iodoform test. So if you are taking the example of ethanol, I'm writing here CH3CH2OH. So as I'm saying, if we are treating it with NaOH plus iodide, that is 4. Now when we are heating the same, okay, so what will happen? Ethanol. So here is the formation of CHI3 plus HCOONA plus 5 NaI and 5 water. Now this compound CHI3, this is iodoform, as you can see, observe that here is the I, which means iodoform compound. So it is formed in yellow color precipitates. Okay, so as I am saying, when there is a yellow precipitates occur, that means that give us positive iodoform test. So this give us positive iodoform test. Okay, so if you are taking example of methanol, CH3OH. Okay, now again when we are treating it with sodium hydroxide and heating it, so there is no reaction occur. Okay, so we can say that there is no reaction occur. Why? Because as I am saying in the starting, that for iodoform test there must be alcohol group containing this CH3CHOH group. Okay, so as you can see in this methanol, okay, there is only CH3OH. There is no other methyl group which is attaching to that carbon atom. Okay, so that is why this will not give the reaction. Okay, so if we are taking one more example, like if we are taking propane 2-ol and propane 1-ol. So I am writing propane 1-ol and propane 2-ol. So as you can see in propane 1-ol, as you can see here, CH3CH2CH2OH, and in the second case CH3CH3OH. Clear? So out of these two, propane 2-ol give this test. Okay, that means here is the formation of, when we are treating it with sodium hydroxide, then it formed yellow precipitate. Okay, but when we are treating this propane 1-ol with sodium hydroxide, it doesn't give reaction. Okay, so the reason is that there is no presence of this. group. ठीक है. So now next is interconversion of alcohols. Okay, what does it mean? That we have to convert one type of alcohol to other type of alcohol. That means here I am taking first one is primary alcohol into secondary alcohol. Okay, we are taking the example of primary alcohol and we are converting it into secondary. So if I am taking here the example of propanol, that is CH3CH2CH2OH. Okay, this is propanol. So if we are treating it with SOCl2, so what will happen here? Here CH3CH2CH2. Now this is removed from here and chlorine is attacked on this side. So here we have is CH3CH2CH2Cl. Okay. So next is when we are treating it with alcoholic KOH, that is potassium hydroxide. So here we have the formation of ene. So there is, we have 3 carbon. That means here is the formation of propene. Okay, here is propane. Chlorine is removed from here. So in next step, if we are treating it with HBr, so what we have is, we have here now bromine is attacking on this side. So we have CH3CH3 and Br is attached here. Clear? Now when we are treating it with alcoholic KOH, aqueous KOH now, not alcoholic, aqueous KOH. Okay, so there is the formation of, we can say CH3OH, which is, as you can see or observe, this is the secondary alcohol, because now this hydroxyl group is attaching with that carbon which is attaching to other 2 alkyl groups, CH3 groups. Okay, so this is the example of conversion of primary alcohol to secondary alcohol. Similarly, we do the conversion for secondary to tertiary. So now I am taking the alcohol of secondary alcohol, which is again propane 2-ol. So when we are oxidizing, when we are doing oxidation of this propane 2-ol, so what we have here the formation of CH3C double bond O. Okay, so hydrogen is removed from here, or we can say water is removed from here. Okay, so when we are treating it with Grignard reagent, that is RMGX. So I'm writing here CH3MgBr. So here is the formation of CH3C. Now as you know, now this MgBr is attacking on that. So we have OMgBr, and you know that this alkyl group is attacking on this electropositive carbon. So CH3 is attaching here and this CH3 as it is. Clear? So this is, now if we are adding water into this, okay, that is we are adding water into this. So what we have, MgBr is removed from here. So next what we have, hydrogen is attaching here. So next compound is formed is CH3C, CH3. Here we have is now OH. Now the CH3 as it is. Clear? So this is how tertiary alcohol is formed with the help of secondary alcohol. Here. So next conversion is, we have primary alcohol to now tertiary alcohol. Okay. So if we are taking here primary alcohol, that is 2-methyl propanol, or you can write propane 1-ol. Okay. So this is the primary alcohol. So when we are heating it with the presence of sulfuric acid, so what will happen here? Here is a dehydration occur. So that means from this water is removed. Okay, at OH from here and 1H from this carbon atom. So as this carbon atom removes hydrogen, so there is the formation of double bond and we have this compound. Next, when we are treating it with HBr, okay, HBr. So if you remember Markovnikov rule, what Markovnikov rule, that now here we have CH3C, we have this 2 carbon atom, okay, having double bond. Now bromine is attached with that carbon having less number of hydrogen, and hydrogen is attached to that carbon atom having large number of hydrogen atom. So that is why bromine is attaching with this carbon and hydrogen is with this carbon. Next, when we are treating it with aqueous KOH, so what will happen? Here is the formation of tertiary alcohol. So which is, as you can see, now what will happen? From here Br is removed and in place of Br there is the OH substituent is attached, and from here KBr is removed. Okay, so this is the tertiary alcohol. The name of that compound is, if you are taking it like that, so 2-methyl propane 2-ol. Okay, so next we have is lower alcohol into higher alcohols. Lower alcohol means if you are starting with some alcohol having one carbon atom, okay, so it end up to some higher alcohol, means there are more than one carbon attached to the product now. So okay, if I am taking here example of methanol, when we are treating that methanol with HI, so here is the formation of CH3I. Okay, here water is removed, or you can also write minus H2O. So again, when we are treating it with KCN, that is potassium cyanide, so there is the formation of CH3CN. Clear? So Ki is removed from here. Next, when we are doing reduction, okay, reduction of that, so here we have is CH3. Now as you can see, here we have C. Now with this C, 2 hydrogen atom is attached, other hydrogen atom attached with that nitrogen. So when we are treating that given compound with nitrous acid, that is HONO, so it will form CH3CH2. Now NH2 is removed from here and OH is taking place. Okay, so this is the final product. So as you can see, first reactant we have is CH3OH. Only one carbon is attached here. But in the product here we have formation of more than one carbon. That means 2 carbon present here. So this is the reaction having lower alcohol to conversion of lower alcohol to higher alcohol. Now this is known as ascent in series. What is ascent in series means? Same. That we are increasing the carbon atom. Next point we have is now higher to lower. Okay. Now I am taking here example of ethanol. Okay, so when we are treating ethanol with K2Cr2O7, which is potassium dichromate, so here is a formation of CH3CHO. Okay, CH3CHO. So next, when we are doing the oxidation of the same this compound, given compound, so here we have is CH3COOH. There is the one oxygen attached with it. When we are treating it with sodium hydroxide, so what we have is, we have CH3COO. Now hydrogen is removed from here and Na is attached here. Okay, next, when we are heating this CH3COO-Na, when we are heating it with sodium hydroxide plus calcium oxide, so what it form? It will form CH4. Clear? All these things, COO-Na is removed. Now here is the addition of hydrogen. Now when we are doing the chlorination of the same, chlorination means we are adding Cl. So here we have one hydrogen is removed from that chlorine. Okay, as we discussed earlier, when we are doing chlorination or bromination, there is a one or more than one hydrogen is removed and chlorine is attached to that position. Okay, so next we have is, now this, to this when we are treating with again alcoholic KOH or aqueous KOH, so here is the formation of CH3OH. Clear? Chlorine is removed and OH is attacking on that site. So this is known as you know, methanol. Okay, methanol. So now as you observe that in this case, what we are taking here 2 carbon at the starting, but we are end up with the 1 carbon here only, methanol. So this is known as descent of series. That means here the carbon atom is decreases. So this is the some conversions. So yes, that's all for the next we have is this difference between alcohol and phenols. Okay, there are one table is given in your book. So you just have to go through from that, because as we already discussed what is phenol, what is alcohol. so you must have to go through it. So yes, that's all for today. Thank you.